Tonight, the crypto world feels like it just shifted a few degrees. Something is happening in plain sight. Most people, they're still looking in the wrong direction. Ripple and XRP just stepped onto the stage nobody expected. Not Wall Street, not Davos, not some closed door banking conference. College athletics, the University of Kansas, a jersey patch, a historic first, the first ever crypto sponsorship of a major college athletic program. And of course, it just happens to be Brad Garlinghouse's alma mater. Coincidence? Maybe. But when XRP starts showing up on uniforms, when agentic payments on the XRP Ledger pass 1 million, when AI suddenly has a home on XRPL, and when Franklin Templeton says XRP is already well past the journey, while the other chains still begging for relevance, you have to ask that bigger question. Is this marketing? Or is this the early signal of something way bigger and larger? Tonight, we're going to go connect all those dots between Ripple, XRP, AI agentic payments, X402, regulation, institutional validation, and the very strange moment when crypto seems to be moving from the back of the room to the front of the jersey. And while all that's happening, Washington's still trying to figure out how to regulate the rails. The world is watching geopolitics heat up, and the old system looks a little bit more nervous than usual. So buckle up, Buttercup, because tonight, not just about a logo on a jersey. It may just be about the moment XRP walked out of the crypto bubble and on where it entered the main stage. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain, everybody. You can see that I am solo, but it's only for a little bit. It's solo. Jeff is on his way to the On the Chain studio as we speak, and he will be joining us shortly. So for the moment, you're going to have me, and we had some technical things going on as usual. Nothing we couldn't overcome. We can always overcome the technical challenges. Tonight, we're going to kick it off. We've got some interesting stuff going on here tonight. But let's just take a look at this little video here. It's going to set it up in a nice little way, and then we'll have something to talk about when we get back. Let's go. With the YouTube censors and police here. So all you see is crowd, you see athletics, you see jerseys, and they've got an XRP tag on them. There you go, there you go, there you go. Look at this. Boom. XRP. Boom, baby. And there it is. And welcome everybody to On the Chain. I am Chip, solo for a moment. Jeff will be joining us shortly, and he will be chiming in just a little bit. He's on his way to the studio. He got caught outside the studio, which happens from time to time. Sometimes it happens to both of us, which is why we don't do a show. And sometimes when we do a show, and you can kind of see how that is. So guys, say hello. What's going on, Steve? How are you doing? Happy 4th, happy past the 4th, happy 250. And yeah, this is great. Come on, baby, pass the Clarity Act. I stuck a lot of money into it. I want my return. Love to post how much I own, but that's not smart. No, never do that, Adam. Never do that. Always keep that a secret. Chad, what's going on from Celebration? Good to have you here. And then we're going to kind of pop into it a little bit tonight. We're going to show you kind of what's going on here. And this is like an interesting thing. Like it was such a wild, out of nowhere type of a thing that hit with what's going on with this thing. It's just crazy. But let's take a look at this here. This is what Ripple posted up here over there on the X, formerly Twitter. Ripple, XRP, University of Kansas. That happens to be Brad Garlinghouse's alma mater. He's talked about it quite a bit. History on a jersey patch. The first ever crypto sponsorship. Major athletics program starts today. It's pretty cool and exciting. If you guys don't know how it works here in the US, one of the things that was pretty interesting to a lot of Europeans, and people came from other places, particularly Europeans, they came here, a lot of Aussies as well. But you know what happened? They came over here. They're told a lot of propaganda like US is dangerous, people are not friendly, the culture's bad, the food's bad. Well, they found just the opposite was true. They were loving everything. You've seen all the videos. We played certainly a ton of them here. And one of the things that I think surprised them was how big the college stadiums are. Like if you look at the University of Michigan, that holds, I think, 107,000 people. It's massive for a college university, football stadium. It's pretty large. So This has kind of shocked them. Now, what even more shocking was going to high schools and seeing how large the football stadiums were there. And I'm not talking about the football as they call it around the world. I'm talking about American football. And it's just shocking. The other thing that shocked them was yellow school buses. They thought it was just in the movies. They'd see a yellow school bus and they'd freak out because they almost didn't even think they were real. A lot of what happens and a lot of the culture that people know about the United States is all done through the lens of TV and movies. So, yeah, some of it's fabricated. It's not all real. They think that every part in the U.S. is New York. It's Miami. It's any big city, Chicago, Detroit. They think it's a big city. This is what they always see, in movies. They've never been to the deep South. They don't realize that it takes 2 days to cross. You can spend 2.5 days driving and still not be out of Texas. They think, well, I'll just drive from New York to Texas. No, ain't happening. You're going to spend 3 days driving. So I think that's caught them a little bit off guard. But you look at this right here, pretty exciting stuff. The Kansas Jayhawks put this up, a shared commitment to innovation and excellence. Kansas Athletics is proud to announce a new groundbreaking partnership with Ripple, bringing the XRP brand to Jayhawk uniforms. And it's cool because you see the Ripple patch right there. We already played the video. You saw it throughout the whole entire video of how it's going to appear on the jerseys. Very first time it's been a sponsorship of college athletics. So that's pretty exciting. And then Brad had this to say, a rare moment where my professional and personal worlds collide. XRP is now the first crypto on the jersey of a major college athletic program at my alma mater. XRP family, meet the Jayhawks. Rock chalk. There you go. That's the rally cry right there. You got to love that. And so pretty exciting time to see something like this happening and occurring. The Kansas, here's the patch, what the patch is going to look like. The Kansas Jayhawks put this out here, introducing the XRP jersey patch. And this is going to be featured on all Kansas athletic team uniform, like everything. Softball, football, lacrosse, you name it, soccer. It's going to be on every single jersey, the football jerseys. And this is what it looks like right here. Pretty cool. So it'll either be in that red or that blue, and that's what it's going to look like. And this is it says the Kansas XRP jersey patch partnership. And they also put up this sort of little cheat sheet beginning with the first team competition in 2026. The XRP patch will appear in all team uniforms. The patch color will be tonal to the uniform, meaning it will match all over color scheme of Kansas Athletics corresponding. So if it's an XRP patch, it'd be either crimson, which is that red we saw, that blue, or that white. Now, when does XRP jersey patch partnership begins? Begins this fall of 2026. Will the XRP patch appear in all sports game jerseys competition uniforms? Yes. For example, men's and women's golf will also have the XRP patch on their respective competition tops. Now, will the XRP patch appear on practice gear, travel gear, sideline gear, and other team-issued gear? No, the XRP patch will only appear on the game jerseys. This is pretty typical. The jerseys they wear in practice are very different. There's no reason to have it on there. Usually practices, sometimes they're open, most of the time they're not. And that makes a lot of sense. So what exactly is XRP? That's the big $10,000 question. Remember, how many people are getting introduced to this? How many people are looking at this as a first crypto-backed sponsorship? And in simple terms, XRP is a cryptocurrency that is built for modern finance and ideal for fast and low-cost financial transactions. For example, sending money from the U.S. to Europe in traditional money can take days, whereas sending XRP settles in 3 to 5 seconds at fractions of a cent. And what is XRP primarily used for today? Well, it's commonly bought and stored in digital wallets. That'll be us, the hodlers, and available for purchase on several global exchanges. Yeah, I would say more than several. That's a nice way to put it. Almost everywhere you can purchase crypto, you will find XRP. And then the last question is, well, when fans buy game jerseys, will it have the XRP patch on them? Yes and no. So officially licensed Adidas game jerseys for sale at retail will not be emblazoned with the XRP patch. However, for example, a fan purchasing an official game jersey at a Jayhawk Outfitters, the official team store of Kansas Athletics at time of purchase, could have the XRP patch added to that jersey. And you would imagine that if they've already got another sponsorship deal with Adidas, obviously you're not going to compete with that. And that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. So that's what we got going on with that. I thought that was an interesting story. Kind of took me by surprise. Was not expecting that. Came right out of the blue, but it was very cool to see that. It's interesting, yeah. So Mark or Chad says he's wearing 2 patches now. Well, what kind of patches are you wearing? Nicotine patches? What kind of patches are you wearing? That's what I'd like to know. Mark Smithson says nice. Then we got the Tree King says XRP is a nightmare wrapped up in a bunch of hope. That's one way to look at it. Could look at it that way, but now it's going to be sitting on some Kansas jerseys. Mark Smithson also has a Speedo, says it has an XRP patch. There you go. Beautiful. Checking in. XRP jersey patch sounds like a backdoor software mod to the ledger for the mafia. Jim D, you never disappoint on any of your comments. This is good. This is great. I love that. And then some news from T54. Let me see what else did I have here. Hang on a second. It's always easier when Jeff is here. We can do this banter back and forth, but I wanted to check. Let's see, what else did we have? It looks like we had a couple of, okay, I see what happened here. All right. So I'm going to put this video up here because this is kind of lead into the next story right here. Let's go ahead and play this. I think it has any. This is the AI hub right here. This is the being launched by T54.ai. We've talked to them an awful lot here. So really exciting to see that. It's AI Hub, build the agent economy on XRP Ledger together. This is a great thing. And I'm really loving this company, T54. I love everything that they do, from the logo, the agentic stuff that they're building. But let's drill down a little bit more on this story. So AI activity in XRP Ledger now has a home. Today, we're launching the XRPL AI Hub, featuring our ecosystem launch virtuals under IO. And this is a single destination for agents, AI projects, tools, payment services on the XRPL. And there it is right there. So this is their partner, Virtuals Protocol, Society of AI Agents. There you go. And that's what it looks like right there. Agent Economy Hub on the XRP Ledger. There it is. Jeff, welcome.
What is good?
You're in a secret undisclosed location. Thank you thank you for making it. There you go.
Oh.
You didn't miss much, man. We just talked about the XRP patch, and that's probably all we really got out of today.
Agentic economy. That's like was made by AI.
That is AI slop all the way. You could recognize it a mile away, right? That's exactly the same thing I was thinking. It's like, yep, but look, it's clean. I mean, it's clean. It's usually better than what most people come up with. Not that it's a bad thing, but it does. You can tell that was made by AI all the way. So
AI is very sterile in terms of its process.
Yeah, it can be. Actually, what I played was I played the wrong movie, and it's like sometimes when you would download them, I actually played the one for the XRP Ledger, and I was thinking as soon as I was playing that, I was like, something's not matching up here. I was like, I knew it right away, but I was like, it's too late, I can't get out of it. But that's the thing, and sometimes you don't preview these movies, you're like, okay. But that movie we just watched, which didn't have any audio, but this is the XRP Ledger Foundation. They just surpassed 1 million agentic payments via the X402 on the XRP Ledger. Time to double down. That's a lot, Jeff. 1 million agentic payments already?
Wow.
This is so new.
That's huge. That's massive. I think that's a big deal. I would be excited if they said 10,000, maybe 20,000, 100,000, but 1 million is a lot of agentic payments. Agentic meaning an agent made it without a human. Right. It's amazing.
That's crazy.
Really
like
impressive.
An AI agent went out there, was making payments. So now you have these agents that are doing things behind the scenes, but 1 million? Wow, pretty big. XRPL AI Hub is a comprehensive new ecosystem platform, builders, users, enthusiasts. Welcome to the agentic economy of the XRP Ledger. This is it right here.
The whole new world.
You know how much I love black backgrounds, Jeff.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah, that's why they print books with black pages and white ink, because they're the best. Right. Can you imagine? You go to the bookstore and say, "Oh no, I'm not reading this book. I need it in dark mode." And they pass you a book.
In dark mode.
If you've ever seen white print on black, like trying to read it on paper, someone's printed something out, you go like, "Oh, this is really hard to read." Well, let's put it all over the web because so much better, right?
That's what people want.
Jeff, you know my 2 biggest pet peeves in life, right? This is one. You know the other big one, right? What's the other?
Vertical videos.
Damn right. Soccer mom videos.
At our last workshop, we had the camera guy there, he had his video camera set up somewhere else. We're like, okay, he was gonna run around and take some quick testimonials. He came over on his phone, but he immediately shot in horizontal. I was like, man, you're a pro. That's what I said.
Good. I thought it was going the other way for a second there.
Well, we had another camera guy that did shoot every testimonial in vertical.
Oh God. You can always use horizontal, make it vertical, but you can't.
Right.
With AI now, you can expand it sometimes. If you just have them in the frame, you can expand it.
Not the same thing, yeah.
It's not the same thing. No, it's not as easy to do either. That's funny, man. And then Vet chimed in on this. Vet said that he wasn't surprised that we surpassed rapidly. I'm sorry, Vet, but I was very surprised by this. He says that he believes that we are uniquely positioned with our protocol design that fits very well what AI needs. Now, that's a really good point. There's a reason that the XRPL could be a very big leader in this, right? Low cost infrastructure, predictable fees. You know what it's going to cost. There's no gotchas. A native asset XRP it's listed everywhere and it's liquid. And I think the big thing is liquidity, Jeff.
Liquidity is massive, especially if you're going to use it for agentic payments like that. Easily accessible, easily transferable. Big news. 24/7, no censorship.
Yeah, that's a key one. And I love that they put this, they snuck this in there. No censorship. Interesting. No censorship there, Jeff. I like that a lot.
Big news.
It's really fantastic. And then here we've got Ellie Terrett talking about, remember, Jeff, they were going to pass this thing in February, the Clarity Act. Then it was going to be April. Then it was going to be May, then June, and it'll be passed before July 4th. Last time I checked, that was a few days ago.
It's going to be Q1 of 27.
I mean, now that you have the midterms coming up, all bets are off until probably after January.
They're not passing anything. Exactly.
But go ahead and take this one, Jeff.
Who's this?
This is Ellie Terry.
Ron Wyden, Democrat, Oregon, is asking Senate leaders to preserve Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act as passed by Senate Banking Committee in any version of the Clarity Act brought to the floor. That's a big deal. You got to look into this. Ron Wyden. He's asking them to vote on it. Is that it? Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act in any version of the Clarity Act. He wants anything. Just vote on it. Comes amid uncertainty over whether certain key law enforcement groups will accept the BRCA language and whether changes will be needed to win their support, as well as the votes of other Democrat senators like Cortez Masto and Mark Warner. There you go. In a letter to Thune and
These are the Democrats, right? So you get Catherine Cortez Masto and you got Mark Warner, both Democrats, along with Ron Wyden.
Another Democrat. Interesting how they're pushing. Huh.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Go ahead and finish this one up.
It's easy. It's easy to push when you know no one's going to vote on it. In a letter to Thune and Schumer, Wyden says the provision would codify existing federal policy by clarifying that non-custodial software developers should not be treated as money transmitters solely for publishing software while preserving the DOJ's and FinCEN's ability to pursue illicit actors like they normally do. Like, why would they lose control over illicit actors? Wyden and a co-sponsor of the standalone BRCA legislation in the Senate alongside Senator Loomis, like hummus.
Rhymes with hummus. Hummus. So the funny thing here is, like, they're always worried about it. Like, what's her name? That loudmouth fake Indian, Warren, was going off about Trump. Oh, we should protect him at all costs. I'm like, listen, honey, you guys are doubling down and making fortune in the stock market, and you're worried about crypto? Seriously? Why don't you take care of your own house first? And why don't you drain the swamp over there? Like that Nancy Pelosi, there were no many apps that were just tracking her trades, and people were up 40, 50% just on her trades alone.
That's right. It's nice to have insider information.
But for some reason, that nut job was all worried about it. And we talked a little bit about Franklin Templeton. We're going to watch this. This is our old pal, Ashish Berlin's going to come on here at some point, who is the CEO and founder of Evernorth. And like I said, I had a chance to meet him in person. It was really kind of fun. Let me see if I can find this.
Hey, Chip, you know that's how good my camera's working?
Yeah, what happened?
I fixed it with AI.
Well, thank God, man.
I had AI go in and find all the problems. Also, there's all these problems inside your computer that can just kind of go haywire. AI fix everything.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I find that I have to use it to navigate Meta ads. It's the worst human interface ever invented. It looks like it was done in like the early, like you remember how Windows was kind of clunky looking? It was kind of like weird, right? But then they like made it better over time. No, this is not Meta. Meta is like the worst software you've ever used. Like you can tell they built it over like 15 years. They put this here and they hit this here half the time, and I use it all the time, Jeff, and I still don't know. I gotta take a screenshot and put it into one of the AI programs and say, hey, how do I do this basic thing? Oh, you're on the wrong screen. You got to click this, then you got to click that, then you got to scroll down to this, then you got to find a hidden button, then you got to click the hidden button, then you got to scroll down further. I'm like, oh, that's it. And then somebody turned me on to an AI program that you connect, it's an MCP server. You connect it up with Claude, and then you just query shit. You don't even have to go look. You just say, do this, and it does it. Thank God. So here we are. This is Ashish Burla, and he's interviewing one of the top dudes over there at Franklin Templeton.
It's catching all your dreams.
So all your dreams are going to come true. Visual Vendetta. Yeah, it's a dream catcher. Hell yeah, it's a dream catcher.
Right. How do you get your dreams back if it catches them?
I think that's it, man. It just stolen.
Gone.
That was supposed to be over. Wasn't that supposed to be over the bed or over you or something like that? If I remember, on the wall somewhere in the bedroom to be a dream catcher. I don't know.
A dream weaver.
How do you evaluate the right chain, and specifically, like, where does XRP fit into that, and what are you excited about with regards to XRP and institutional adoption, and also the chains that come to you, which I'm sure are coming to you weekly at this point?
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of new chains too, and I think one of the things that another trend that you see globally is that very large institutions, kind of whales that are sitting out there in the global economy, are finding, they're understanding this ecosystem a little bit more, and they're trying to migrate people to using, chains or side chains that they have decided to kind of adopt. And so you do see a proliferation of that. And, from Franklin Templeton's perspective, we're going to go where the customers are, quite frankly, right? You're always listening to your customers. And, XRP and the community around XRP is pretty aggressive at, growing and iterating for these purposes, these trillions of dollars purposes that, that we've been speaking about before. And so we have a lot of enthusiasm about working with the team specifically. When our journey started with the global regulators, and, we touch a lot of different global regulators, we did create a kind of a selection criteria that kind of, I hesitate to use the word protocol, but it does become kind of a standard when you're the first one through the door, and you're learning up these regulators, quite frankly, toward, not that you're, trying to be a decentralized, permissionless issuer of an asset, but you're actually, you're in a securities business and you're permissioned, and you're just trying to use these rails as your underlying, data kind of database operating system by and large. And so there was a number of things that we kind of punched through there with the regulators to put that template in place. But we think that, XRP is, well past the journey of even new chains,
Did you see that, Jeff? Well past the journey. Saying it's seasoned, saying it's been around a while. And why did Franklin Templeton? Well, regulatory stuff. They talked about institutions. It's well past the journey of a lot of these chains. Right. So that's a very interesting sort of insight there.
Very interesting take on it.
Hey, now
I'm trying to see if he was wearing a cardigan.
Yeah, let's put this.
And then I think, quite frankly, one of the things that I like the most as the technology at XRP continues to iterate is just the leadership. When I go in,
Jeff, you know what we need to get? We need to get like official OTC cardigans with a patch on it. It's like a smoking jacket, a pipe. You know what I mean?
Except what, the badassery logo.
Badassery logo on one side, OTC on the other.
Oh, that'd be kick-ass.
And I like that too. Kind of cool like that, like with one of those cool collars. That's the she's free.
Oh, you know what? We'll get the badassery logo on the sleeve.
Ooh, even better. I like that because then you see it right there.
That's the logo here, yeah.
Kind of like my number 3 on there.
Exactly. I like it.
My giant horsey. It's my uniform, Jeff. I wear Ralph Lauren. or Carhartt. That's all I have. That's all I own.
That's
Carhartt. It's Carhartt for the working side, and I wear this for the business side. That's what I do. This one here says that from Visual Vendetta, a Fox News interview with Cynthia Lummis, where she said they're working hard to push the Clarity Act, is so bullish.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think if you're on the wrong, see, the problem is you got the midterms coming up, and I think if the Democrats are trying to read the tea leaves a little bit, they know that the primary were largely funded by pro-crypto. The pro-crypto candidates won. They don't want to be on the opposite side with the midterms coming up, Jeff. If you kind of read between the tea leaves, now all of a sudden you got 3 Democrats. We just got to vote on this. We got to push it through. They want to give the illusion that they're not the anti-everything Democrats, which of course they are.
They are. And we have more crypto people running this time around too. So
there's more crypto people running, and there's more money out there than ever before that's sort of fueling the whole thing. And I think that's a welcome sight as well. I have to say that in itself is just huge. And this is good news too. Like, funny enough, we've got a lot of Graham Platner stories here, but he officially, this is like just happened 20 minutes ago, he officially dropped out of the Senate race. And all of the weirdos and losers that endorsed a guy who had a shady past, and they were like, we're going to vote for him. And Elizabeth Warren, that's my guy. And I give my full endorsement. Now they're looking like they have egg on their face. Another woman coming forward that she was raped. You have other weird stuff where he was hanging around the dark web, and a lot of kids were hanging there. I mean, just like there's a lot of things, the Nazi tattoo, the Heil Hitler. I mean, and like, they were just like, yes, socialism.
They love
and then recently, the last couple of days, are like, I mean, you play the comments before, like, I don't know anything. They were sort of.
They didn't know anything.
They didn't know. I mean, that's the true story. They don't know anything, but they're like, no, I don't know if I said that. I don't know. And funny enough, this question, which was really a good question, was posed to President Trump here today. Listen to this.
Communism. You've been issuing a wake-up call to Americans at home about the dangers of communism, and now you're speaking on the world stage. What's your message to people both living under communist and socialist regimes, but also people living under democracies like in Europe and America who might not have realized how close communism has come to home?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. But look, I want to get the word out, because what's forming is communism in the country. And communism's easy to sell. I would be the greatest communist in history. I'd be right up there with Lenin. I'd be as good as anybody. You've got free rent for the rest of your life. What they don't say is that you'll be living in squalor in 12 months. You've got the free house. Would anybody like to have a free house? We'll take it away from somebody. We'll give it to you. You'll have murders all over the place. Communism's a disaster. It's been proven to be for thousands of years under different names, but same thing. It's very important. And, it's funny. One of the reasons I do so well with Hispanic people, I set a record, Republicans. I get great numbers for the election, helped me get elected in a landslide, the Hispanics, because a lot of them came from countries that were essentially communist. Whether you call them radical socialist or communist is not that much, but there's a little difference. When they say social democrats, we're social democrats, it sounds so nice. It's not nice, it's a very dangerous term. So I do talk about it, and I talk about it on TikTok, and I talk about it everywhere. I talk about it here. And you're right, it has become international, but it's never worked, and it's not going to work. What is working is the United States. So think of it, we have more jobs than we've ever had. People are making more money than they've ever made. I'm talking about workers now. I'm talking about workers. They're making higher salaries than they've ever made before. It's just the best system.
It's right, man. 100% right. Nothing wrong with that.
Trump ideology 2028. Better believe it.
2028, run, reindeer. Yeah.
Notice how Rubio's right there front and center.
Yeah, Rubio's the man. I mean, he really is the man.
Stacked up for 28 right now as it stands.
What's interesting, Jeff, is we are apparently raining hell down. Helicopters are basically patrolling the Strait of Hormuz and just like dropping all kinds of bombs and stuff because of what's going on over there. So
it's over. That's what Trump said. He's sick and tired of doesn't listen to those lying fiends over there.
Well, somebody asked him the question. Somebody posed that very question to it, Jeff. And listen, now when he answers, watch Rubio's face over his left shoulder. Watch this. Ready?
New York Times. Last month, you said Iranian leaders were very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today, you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think
I got to know them. So I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more.
What changed? I got to know them. I mean, it's a pretty good answer, really.
Look at Rubio's cracking up. He's just waiting for this. Oh my
Rubio's
God.
got the straightest face. Look at watch his lips. They kind of start curling up into a full blown. Watch, they curl down. Now watch this. Ready? Watch his face.
So, I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone. Level 2 is gone. This is level 3. I think they are more rational, but based on their actions over the last week or two, they're not doing a service to the people. And I think more than anything else is I got to know them. And I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job.
There you go.
Just finish the job. This was always the plan. Listen, don't think Trump has been swindled. Don't think he always gives people plenty of chances to do the right thing. Before he rains down holy hell, he'd say like, well, we gave him this chance, we gave him that chance, we gave him this chance. They said they do this, they didn't do this. They said we're going to do that. They didn't do that. Then they agreed to this. They didn't follow through. They said this. And after 10, 15 times, you rain holy hell, you take them out, and then you start out, and then you're talking to the new leadership, who are the people of Iran and the non-Islamic people, and there's no more Islamic Republic of Iran. It's gone.
Done. They got to get rid of it. It'll be the first one to fall. And you notice also, you're getting Palestinian fatigue also all around the world. They're sick and tired. Same thing with this Iranian jihadi. Even in Lebanon, it's a really good video. They're taking back the streets from Hezbollah. People are fed up with it. They don't want the proxies from Iran anymore. Just get it over, done
100%.
with. The world will be a better place.
Well, look at this one. Trump was at the White House, and someone asked him about Spain, and he's got the who's the guy that Mark I can't think of his last name. The guy that's in charge of NATO, right? But he's sitting right there with them. This is uncomfortable when Trump says cut Spain off. Watch this.
And I want to thank Mark. He's been a great Secretary General of NATO. I'm not happy with NATO because of what they did with Greenland. And I'm not happy with NATO because of the fact that they didn't want to help us with the #1 state sponsor of terror. That's Iran. They were unwilling to help us. Now, in all fairness, I didn't speak to Mark about it. I think if I did, it might have been different. But we didn't need help. But I was really testing. I wanted to see whether or not they'd be there. And the answer is they were. I spoke to Germany. I spoke to France. Spoke to UK. Spoke to Italy. I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it off. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate. They don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figure they have to protect us, right? But we don't have to. We don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right?
Yes, sir.
Take it immediately. Don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people because, they have everybody else going and paying and working. In Spain, in particular Spain, there are a couple of others, but in particular Spain, they're open about it. They're hostile about it. And let's see how hostile they remain when they call up and they, please, we want to trade with you, sir. We want to trade with you, sir. They make so much money with us, and we're going to see that they make a lot less. I want no business with them.
Cut them off.
Holy cow. Talk about...
Boy.
He's on fire. That's it.
Jeff Rome says, what do you think of that social media Muslim Sneeko declaring New York a Muslim state? Yeah, I think Sneako's on borrowed time, if you want to know the truth. I don't think Sneako is going to be much around very often in the yeah, they can declare all they want. Listen, let them, like I always say, never interrupt your enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves. And they're doing a pretty good job of it right now. There was a really good some clips that we're going to play off of Rogan, and I think the tide's really changing. I'm starting to see it in Europe. People are fed up. You saw, Jeff, when they came here, the Europeans, they have a very different, and of course they told their family and friends, and of course some of those videos got out, unfortunately, due to the propaganda networks over there. And they're like, hey, they lied to us. It was dangerous. That it was this, that it was that. They found nothing of the sort. They found great food, great people, hospitality, warm people willing to do anything and have fun with them. And, man, it's a very different scenario than what they were ultimately thinking. It's crazy how that happens, Jeff.
It's insane. Totally insane.
Crazy how it happens. Well,
it's good. Good to see things are coming full circle. Europe, you saw the protests in the streets across the board, from England to Northern Ireland, all over the place. They're totally fed up. Fed up.
Now watch this video here. This is Swalwell and Platner.
Oh, yeah.
Listen how tightly wound this is here. Remember, listen to this.
That you see and hear from me directly. I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support. We are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love.
Mark.
And they're both gone.
They're gone.
They got rid of Swalwell real quick. Swalwell was the darling, but they got rid of him, and then all of a sudden Platner's out. How funny is that?
Hey, you know what else popped up in the news yesterday was Gillum.
Oh yeah, I got arrested again.
Got arrested again. Yeah. All over the news.
Gillum, what a weird name. And DeSantis won by 0.5%. That's how close that guy was. And like 3 weeks after the election, he woke up naked in some guy's apartment with a bunch of, blow or whatever. I mean, just by coincidence with a bunch of gay guys. And he wasn't gay. So he wasn't gay. He doesn't do drugs. He's drugs that was passed out from something. But now this is the couple that vetted Platner right here. And of course, it's a little parody because obviously one of them's not real.
At this point,
You don't think so?
you hadn't vetted
It's the weird voice
Graham
dude.
Platner. You hadn't done a full scrub of who he is. How did you go about vetting him? And why did you?
We paid a nice firm a whole chunk of money.
This is the couple, and we got a parody of this, but they're snickering like, listen to this. I mean, this guy, there's so many allegations against this guy.
And
This is the guy with the weird voice. Like, who are these people?
got some stuff back. Some of what you've seen on the news we got back. Other stuff we didn't.
Did the vetting process turn up the tattoo that became so controversial?
No.
The Reddit posts, did that turn up in the vetting process?
The firm sent us a thing, and it had some of the posts, but it didn't have all of them.
And what did you think about that? How did you think your way through the fact that he had posted these things on social media?
I said none of this will or should stop him from becoming a U.S. Senator.
And what was your
Clearly the
thinking
voters
there?
agree. I think if what the voters wanted were people who were grown in vats and had never done or said anything that they might regret their entire lives, we'd have a very different country. Part of our thesis here is that people do not want their candidates grown in vats. They want people who are real human beings.
Yeah, speaking of real human beings, Jeff, who talks like this? People, real people? And those people that get the question at the end?
And they want people who do not look and sound like the vat-grown people who've been leading this country off a cliff.
They look and sound like you, though, right, mister?
For the last century.
Anyway, that's enough of that. There's the parody one is much better, Jeff.
I thought that was the
Graham
parody.
Platner. You hadn't done a full scrub of who he is. How did you go about vetting him? And why did you?
We paid a nice firm a whole chunk of money and got some stuff back. Some of what you've seen on the news we got back. Other stuff we didn't.
Did the vetting process turn up the tattoo that became so controversial?
No.
Also, everyone's like freaking out about this tattoo. It's not what you think it is. It's not. It's just a Nazi tattoo.
The Reddit posts, did that turn up in the vetting process?
We don't believe that people are responsible for the things they say on the internet. The internet it's made up. It's not real. You know, it's like gender or Israel.
The firm sent us a thing, and it had some of the posts, but it didn't have all of them.
And what did you think about that? How did you think your way through the fact that he had posted these things on social media?
I said none of this will or should stop him from becoming a U.S. senator.
And what was
Clearly
your
the
thinking
voters
there?
agree.
Okay. Is Graham Platner perfect? No. Were there some rape allegations? Yeah, a couple. But in Maine, we actually have this event once a month called Rape Roll Fools, where for 24 hours, it's actually not a crime. It's kind of like The Purge meets American Pie. It's a lot of fun.
I think if what the voters wanted were people who were grown in vats and had never done or said anything.
Listen to that guy. I mean, these are the people who are vetting. They paid some firm. I don't know what's going on over there, but if Platner is out, Jeff, are they going to pull a Kamala Harris and say, we're going to anoint somebody else, not going to have a primary?
They're going to have to appoint somebody, right?
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, they're not going to have a primary. I mean, did they have to appoint Kamala?
Maybe.
Well, here we go. Let's take a look at the Democrats who didn't have a problem with any of these rape allegations, the Nazi tattoo, the questionable stuff, the dark web stuff with young kids. No, none of that stuff. But here, let's go. Of course, here's Bernie Sanders leading the way.
Everything I can to make sure that Graham Platner is the next senator from the state of Maine.
I'm endorsing Graham Platner for Senate in Maine. And here's the reason why. Graham Platner is the real deal. That's my kind of man.
No one thinks of him as the future of the party. You know, he was very weak. He didn't want to support Graham Platner. He was out there trying to get Janet Mills. Even he now sees that Platner is the best chance to win the state. Won overwhelmingly last night.
Do I want Graham Platner to win this race? Absolutely I do. For a million different reasons.
On Graham Platner, are you satisfied with the explanations he's given for the controversies his campaign has faced right now? Are you concerned about what we've heard?
I met with Graham Platner today. We're going to beat Susan Collins and take back the Senate.
You have not said if you're still endorsing Graham Platner. Are you still supporting Graham Platner?
As I said, I endorsed Graham Platner. We're going to beat Susan Collins and take back the Senate.
Jeez.
Shows how evil they are. And they don't care. It's all about power.
Win at any cost, Jeff.
Win it.
Now look at this. Why is the man who had a stroke, who apparently his brain healed after the stroke? You know who I'm talking about, Jeff.
Fetterman.
Why is he the only sensible Democrat? But here he is talking about Bernie Sanders.
But your party was willing, your party leaders, not you, was willing to look past all these other allegations against him, from the other woman who said he grabbed her, to the tattoo, the Nazi tattoo, to all the other Reddit posts that had been dug up. So they were willing to overlook all of that because he was their star.
Yeah, I mean, I refuse to overlook that, but honestly, I would really call Bernie Sanders to apologize for pushing this kind of predator more than anyone. He helped him elect, and now apologize to the victims, especially the woman that she claimed that he raped her. So I don't know why you want to keep pushing these kinds of people. Maybe he should consider set a few out and stop pushing these kind of communists and people. And now people, you know, like P. Hustle now, he has been
That's so funny. He calls him P Hustle. Now, this is how Graham Platner referred to himself as P Hustle. So it's funny. I don't think people know. It's kind of like inside stuff, but it's so funny. It's so funny that Fetterman calls him P Hustle.
Credibly accused of rape, and that's fairly recent too. That was only less than 5 years ago.
Well, he said that allegations are untrue, but that he's basically reviewing his options. He's obviously going to drop out, correct?
Well, he was already a dead man walking politically. So regardless, now when the entire Democratic Party in Maine has called him to leave, and now also, as far as I know, whether it's Schumer, Gillibrand, and other leadership in the DS and other people have all called him, had to go. He's a dead man walking. I don't know why he's trying to pretend that he's not done too. Even those Pod Save America people that pushed that dirtbag, and they dismissed those things in the New York Times article. Maybe they ought to apologize to the women that clearly they didn't believe or they dismissed that. I know Democrats that have, back to back endorsed and got all in on Swalwell, and were on the Platner train as well too. So maybe stop, getting on bed with absolute dirtbags, someone like Platner.
Oh, this is incredible, Jeff. You have a Democrat calling them out as dirtbags. Geez, do you think? It's really remarkable. Who knew that Fetterman would have had a stroke and his brain would have healed from it? This is Dave.
Totally healed.
Dave says that his granny is first generation USA. Her parents migrated from Spain. They're so hardworking, thoughtful, and loving. Very eye-opening to see how much could change and happen in a generation or two. It's so true. Yeah, if I have friends that were in Spain. My daughter was in Spain for she studied over there. She did a semester over there, loved it, and both my daughters did actually. They did a semester in Spain, and they love it. They both speak Spanish. They're fluent in Spanish because of their mom, not because of me. That's for sure. Not because of me. I'm do my best to speak English, Jeff, but yeah, and it was great. My youngest one, who just did that a year and a half ago, she said, I said, how was it? She said, it was great. All my friends wanted me to speak for them. And I was like, oh, great. So, the part that when they went to parts that didn't speak a lot, a lot of people, they're pretty fluent in English over there. But a lot of times she just would just, speak Spanish all the time, and she loved it. Now, my older daughter is way more fluent. The younger one's kind of, she's good, but she's not as, she prefers English. The other one can flip back and forth, and Portuguese too. So very accomplished. Very accomplished. She speaks. I was watching her speak. I know I've seen her speak Spanish, but watching her speak Portuguese was quite the sight. I was like, whoa, hello. And they're similar, but they're not the same.
They're different. Yeah, exactly.
They're different. There's some similarities here and there. But Jim D says McConnell's wife's desperately visiting China to secure deals before her hubby's declared MIA. Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah. How about McConnell coming back? Well, Chris, you don't even know this, but this is very true. Let me show you the video right here. I've got the video of McConnell coming back. You probably haven't seen this yet, but check this out. Here he is. There he is. Jeez. So for people listening in on the pod, it's Thune in the ring, and like an the World Wrestling, whatever that wrestling thing is, I don't know, the foundation, whatever they call it, but he's opening a casket, and Mitch pops out of it because he's going to vote for Clarity Act. That's what he wants to do. Jeff, the meme, of the basketball. What was her name? Pointing at everyone. Well, someone recently saw Mitch out there. It was weird. So he was out.
Oh my God! Look at him.
He was out there
like a zombie.
My God, he looks like
zombie Mitch.
Jeez, what happened to Mitch?
Zombie Mitch.
Man, jeez, Mitch. Now,
the Undertaker. That's what it was, right?
The Undertaker. Yeah, that's what it was. Right, the Undertaker. I'm not up on this pop culture stuff. Jeff, I was telling this story one time when I was in college, and it was like a freshman and in the dorms, and I was like meeting a lot of the, meeting people and meeting the kids, and I was in a room, and there's probably like 10 guys standing around. And they all started talking about wrestling, and I was kind of like scoping the room, like, and they kind of like, they were talking like they knew every person's name and this and that, and I felt like a complete like outcast. And I was like, and they're like, Chip, do you like wrestling? I'm like, yeah, like when I was like 10, I was was really into it. I was like 8 or 10 years old. I thought it was great. You don't follow? I'm like, I mean, it's a bunch of men like play acting and they're really bad actors at that, and it's all scripted. And they were like, what? What do you mean it's scripted? It's real. And I thought, where the hell am I, man? I was like, they were like having this whole conversation about wrestling. I felt really weird. I go, hey, I got to go get something. I was like, wow, this is a lot of weirdos. I'm like, yeah, but you guys are like 18 now. You really, they're talking about wrestling moves. They're talking about like what happened, the previous fight. And I was like, wow, felt completely out of place there.
That's how I feel about boxing now.
That's kind of the same thing. You want to see, this is the kind of candidate, this is an Islamist candidate running in Michigan, Jeff. Here he is right here. Listen to this.
This is about normalizing paramilitary force on our streets. I've been clear that you can't reform ICE. You can't retrain ICE. You have to abolish ICE.
So you have to abolish ICE. Why is that, Jeff? So you can't, now if you want to abolish the law, that's one thing, but you can't get rid of the enforcer that actually takes care of the law. Well, you can if you're a complete dirtbag like this guy right here, but we have the Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham's been great. That whole thing and the meme blew up. That was fantastic, Jeff. I really love that. DNI is here. He's in the building. Look who else is here. XRP Hollywood. Being a dirtball is a prerequisite to being elected for Team Blue. Well, that and anti-everything. It's like, are you anti this? Yes. And you know what? Now now the Platner's completely out of the picture. You know who's gearing up?
Kamala Ding Dong.
You know who's gearing up? Nope. None other than Marco's preparing.
Marco, looks like you're going to.
Yeah.
And if you had to look who's going to be the next president, just on the memes, the JD meme doesn't make sense to me. Now, somebody did it. It was goofy, afro, overweight JD. It doesn't look anything like him. And that became the meme versus the Marco meme, which is Marco wears more hats. Marco does more jobs. Marco's doing everything. So you got the hardworking dude and the fat, goofy dude.
And the guy that's not doing so much.
And the what?
And not doing so much.
Yeah, not doing so much. I mean, he's doing a great job with that fraud thing, but geez, Marco's pretty much everywhere, man. I mean, everywhere that you need to be. And so we got some stuff about Spencer Pratt. Now, the biggest mistake, Jeff.
Oh, he stepped out again.
The biggest calculation that the left made here was keeping Spencer Pratt out of the LA mayorship. Geez, the one candidate who already conceded and needed enough votes to be the second, she surged when they were counting the votes 2 weeks later. And the first candidate Bass got it. But no, isn't that kind of weird, Jeff? Like that happened? Well, unfortunately, what happens here in scenarios like this is that you made him way more powerful. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We're going to show you why.
So we got
here he is right here, Spencer Pratt. I hear the train coming. It's rolling round the bend. And there's Johnny Cash with a giant F-U, commie.
Commie. Nice.
F-U, commie. So the stuff he's doing right now
it's amazing.
is insane. And
now
then
he can
this
do whatever
one,
he wants. Say what he wants. Spend
100%.
whatever he wants.
Look at this, Jeff. Spencer Pratt says our biggest weakness today is the lack of courage and leadership and culture. Everyone wants common sense. Everyone's too afraid to demand it. So today we're launching the War Foundation.
The War Foundation.
Now, what's funny about that? Jeff, I donated to this. I'm like, I love it. Here it is right here. The War Foundation, political corruption, innovative new media, advocate for transparency, accountability, integrity in government and culture, restore common sense, and roll back the long march of socialism through our vital institutions.
Nice.
Spencer
God,
Pratt.
I love that, dude. War Nation.
Isn't that great?
Like
Together, we're going to win the war against political corruption. We're going to see the W right there, win the war, advocate for transparency, accountability, and then R, restore common sense and roll back a long march. Okay. War Foundation's being created to fight where others won't. We will use the same innovative arsenal that we use to capture the world's attention in our campaign. Hard-hitting media, investigative research, educational campaigns, strategic partnerships in government, and push back on the communist rot. Shine a light on government failure, challenge entrenched interest, and empower citizens. What do you think about that, Jeff?
It's definitely a throwback to another period of time when they went after commies throughout Hollywood. And so here we go again. You know, I think this is really important. Communism being branded as a democratic socialism that doesn't exist. It's a fake word. It's communism through and through. And they're running candidates. They got New York. Hopefully that's short term, but they're running candidates throughout the United States. And it's so critical to see Spencer Pratt shining a big, bright light on it. A lot of the fraud and deception is coming out of Hollywood, all the corruption of the youth, and so this has to change. It's got to change. And here's a guy saw firsthand what they can do to get you out of an election. They did everything, they cheated, they stole, they did what they could to get him out, and he's willing to fight back, and he's going to fight back at a much higher level. I love it. The War Foundation, it's a massive PAC. Hopefully it's a PAC. So I'm assuming it's a PAC, but there's so much more that those guys are going to be doing. And we haven't even, seen, the first of their, big MMA. There you go.
How
great was that too? MMA.
Well, Chris is asking here, Rubio or Vance. I mean, for me, look, I was never. Yeah. I mean, even think like someone like Donald's will make a great president. I think there's something about the cult of personality. Now, I see this here. Visual Vendetta says Rubio for president 28 be good, but Charlie Kirk would have been perfect. I disagree with that. As much as I love Charlie Kirk and as much as the work that he was doing was fantastic, he didn't necessarily have that cult of personality. He didn't have that passion. I've never seen him lose his cool. Like, you got to have a little rough edges, man. You got like Trump has rough edges. Rubio doesn't take shit when he gets an interview. You can't be over intellectual. Charlie Kirk was an intellectual. I mean, I see more and more stuff every day. I watched this one debate where someone's don't use the buzzwords and don't do this, and he just dismantled his knowledge of history. His knowledge was incredible, but not presidential material. Just in mind, maybe later down the road if you live, but I didn't see that as his life's mission, and that just wouldn't have been mine. Rubio or Vance will support either. Yep. Yeah. And the thing about Vance is like he's kind of that same type of dude. He's a very intellectual guy, super smart, almost to a fault. Where
I was gonna say, yeah.
You listen to him talk, and it's like, I don't disagree with anything he says. It's just I'm bored bored as F, Jeff. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, Rubio's like, I watch him and he's like, he's a little scruffy fighter, and he's back to the Rubio that got, that we elected for the first and second term. And then he drifted for a while. Then he came back.
Yeah.
So you got to love that.
Yeah.
So 2 scumbags. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
That's after he said, I'll support either.
He's watching the part about Swalwell and Platner.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. They are 2 scumbags. The whole Democratic partner is null and void of any sort of values or morals. I mean, you think women are men and men are women, and I mean, just like they're detached from reality, man. But listen to this. Here we go.
Spencer Pratt isn't going anywhere.
Releasing a now viral new campaign ad. That ad racking up more than 10 million views in just 24 hours.
That is one of the best political ads that I have ever seen.
That's one of the best political ads I've ever seen.
One of the best political ads of all time.
Now that the campaign portion of my mission to save Los Angeles is coming to a close, and I'm moving on to the next, more interesting phase, you have no idea how bad things are about to get for this city. More of your favorite restaurants will be shuttering. That means less tax revenue. That means the city has to cut services, more potholes, less firefighters, less police patrols, more criminals, more drug addicts terrorizing your communities.
I love that Spencer is just saying, look at what we can all see.
Look at this place already. Weeds growing from every crack and crevice, graffiti over every square inch of public space, garbage, drugs, feces, burned up dogs, burned down towns, abandoned storefronts. This city is a mess, all while corrupt politicians and fraudulent NGOs profit off the misery and fleece us for the tax dollars. Well, now we're flipping the script. I didn't get in this for political power. I got in this to expose this corrupt machine, and nothing has changed. Every week, I'm going into the belly of the beast, bringing you hard-hitting cinematic documentaries exposing the fraud and corruption in California.
There was a body that they found yesterday. Someone is making money in City Hall on the distribution of the needles.
It's all illegal. Everything we're looking at is illegal. Talking to business owners, covering the issues the media doesn't want you to see, and breaking down complex issues into digestible content to educate and inspire people to make real change.
All you have to do is show people.
If you think we uncovered a lot of fraud and evil in the campaign, just wait. It's war.
They made a big mess calculation. They just made this guy more powerful than ever. He's starting this foundation. Money's flooding in. He's going to become, who's that kid that's always exposing everything that's running around? Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
He's going to be like this big or bigger than Nick Shirley. He's going to be, and what you're seeing is that the independent journalists are putting a shame. Look at a kid. 20, I think Nick Shirley's at 23 years old. Was he 23?
I think he's 23.
23 years old. He's running circles around that. That would have been 60 minutes, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you got, it's a great time to be alive. The stuff's getting exposed. The propaganda is going away. And, like I said, the biggest success of the World Cup, the games have been exciting, except for the U.S., which they should have lined them up outside of that match. They should have had every fan punch him in the face as hard as they can and then kick him. And then when they were down, kick him again, because it was an embarrassment to the team. It was an embarrassment to the country, and they ought to just all be disbanded. I mean, the one thing that I will say is Balogun came out with a great message and said, man, we let you down. We let down our country.
Yep.
So super sorry. I feel shame. Thank God. The one man that had the courage to stand up. I saw Landon Donovan, who last played, I think, in 2014. He was the Chris Pulisic of the time. Now, granted, there wasn't a lot of social media, but he's like, I would have effing done this and effing done that. The doctors, I would have gone to the doctor and I would have punched them in the face. You're not pulling me off the field for any reason. Yeah. Then he admitted that in 2014 he played. I forgot what the team he played. I think it was Syria. But he played them with a pulled hamstring. He played with a pulled.
Some of these guys, I mean, it's amazing.
Because they're men. They're men. And that Chris Pulisic was just a waste. Balogun, thank God. That guy could have played for UK, he could have played for Africa, and he chose to play for the US. And he's a good dude. And he scored a couple goals.
It was such an embarrassment.
It was an embarrassment. And punch them all in the face. It was they couldn't even pass. They couldn't hold a formation. They couldn't hold a triangle formation. Every time the keeper kicked it downfield, they turned it over every single time. I mean, if you were Belgium, all you had to do was
by Belgium.
You do nothing. You just they were kicking around, la la la. They broke open the defense. The defense was ridiculous. How about the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Instead of kicking the ball and clearing, he puts his foot in the ground, and it was an embarrassment. Listen, I remember Landon Donovan. They were down by one goal. They played their hearts out. They just had a assault at the end of the game. Balls coming flying, and they lost. You say, you know what? They gave it everything. They gave nothing. This was an embarrassment. I mean, it's embarrassed the United States on the world stage. You know what? Punch them all in the face. That's what I say. That's just horrible, Jeff. Anyway, you can tell I'm a soccer fan. I've been watching the World Cup since the 90s. I don't miss it. I love, you're a big soccer fan, Jeff. And I used to be a bigger fan, but I never missed the World Cup. I never missed the Euro Cup, CONCACAF. I love watching all the competition. And it was just, it was embarrassing, man. It was just simply an embarrassment. I don't know the way to say it, but gosh, it was just, it was rough. And then here's another Spencer Pratt. I mean, I remember seeing that show that he was on, that reality show, and he kind of played like a villain. I thought it was stupid. I watched a couple times, and Heidi was his girlfriend, and now she's his wife. But this dude, man, this dude is something else. He really is. You got to love the fire that's inside this dude. Here's Spencer Pratt. He said, if you look closely, now he's at the White House. He was in Trump's office saying he was talking about LA, the city he loves. Yeah, the Euro Cup is fantastic. I love the Euro Cup. I was at the Euro Cup in 2000. It was when it was in the Netherlands and Belgium. If you look closely, it reads, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, except for communists. Just got to love it.
Awesome.
Who would have thought? Spencer Pratt,
man.
Who would have thought this guy would have turned out to be a political hero, Jeff? Unbelievable.
Well, you never know what's going to motivate someone to get actively involved and then step up to another level. And they burn his house down, or they don't let him rebuild after the house burns down. Pissed him off. The fire and passion this guy's got. Then they screw him out of the election. So, now here you go. This guy is doing some amazing things. Amazing.
You gotta love it, man. Like I said, there's in the editing of his stuff, the fast nature and the way he talks, it just is really fantastic, man. So here we go. Here's a couple clips. Let's segue on here, but I want to play this right here. Here's Lowe from the runs a restore party over there, and Nigel Farage. Just I don't know what he's doing. He's lost soul, man. He just resigned because they own 48% of the seeds, and he's trying to prove a point. It's just that dude left the building. I mean, Farage is not the guy. It's Rupert Lowe all the way. But here's Rupert Lowe. Here's some excerpts from him on Rogan. Listen to this.
The Islamic code. I think that the Muslims are frightened of female sexuality. It's all there, and as you know, you get FGM, female genital mutilation. So these cultures, I think, Joe, and to your point, are just incompatible unless you have a very strong government which basically protects its electorate from any subversive behavior which is not compatible with our values.
Spot on, man. This is the only guy willing to say what needs to be said. This is why it's growing so quickly.
About servitude and about, there's other stories in here about women having to lick the feet of their rapists. It's about power. It's about servitude, and it's about the fact that Muslim men are taught to believe that they are superior, not only to women, but they're superior to people like yourself and myself, who are considered to be, if you like, the infidels. And their job is to effectively spread Islam and effectively punish the infidel. And as you probably know, in the Crusades, if you lost to Saladin and you were a Knights Templar, a Crusader, you had two choices. You either converted to Islam or they killed you. And in the case of a lot of these girls, a lot of them were made pregnant. They were impregnated, and they then had to convert to Islam. Some of them were trafficked to Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, other parts of the world.
It's disgusting, man.
Yep.
One more clip here.
Is in bad shape, and
yes.
Yeah, and that's why you're here. And this is what we're talking about.
Well, the rape gang, we've done. We've crowdfunded this.
Okay.
Which I'm very happy to talk to you about. Which I think
just this title of that rape gang report.
Yeah.
The idea that there's actual rape gangs in the UK in 2026, and is it being ignored? Is it being downplayed? Like, how is it being received by the media and by the politicians over there?
Well, the history of it is that basically, as you probably know, Britain, after the war, decided they were going to play a part in Europe, a bigger part in Europe. Well, our elite did, the British elite. And to do that, they had to basically diminish the power of the nation state, and they had to head towards this European superstate, which is the EU, the genesis of which was obviously a monopoly.
Why did they have to diminish the power of the nation to do that?
Because I think Britain was a proud nation state. We with the American help, we'd won the war, and we hadn't been invaded or conquered, which most of Europe had been. So you'd had mass dislocation in Europe. Huge numbers of people had been dislocated and pushed all over Europe. And I think the socialists, I was in the European Parliament, so I spent a brief time as an MEP, a member of the European Parliament, when we finally achieved, a kind of Brexit. We can talk about that, but it wasn't a proper Brexit. So I think the genesis of the rape gangs, going back to this, was the fact that multiculturalism was the order of the day. They wanted open borders. They wanted a multicultural society. They basically felt the nation state had been the cause of world wars, effectively starting with Napoleon. Then obviously we had the Kaiser, then we had Hitler. And I think they saw it that way, the Monnets, the Spinellis, and the people who constructed the European Union. So to the rape gang report, which was your question, ultimately the genesis of that is this multicultural invasion almost of Europe.
Man, it's a really great interview, man. These are just some of the clips that were pulled, but man, I gotta tell you, it's very spot on. The time is right. Sometimes you see a leader emerge that is willing to speak the truth, and a guy like Rupert Lowe, who is, yeah, I mean, this is the guy that can help turn around the UK and save Great Britain and and everything else. Or man, don't mess with the Irish. The Irish don't take it lightly. This obviously, yeah, the Argentina game was epic, man. I'm like 82nd minute. I'm like, they're down. How is Argentina down 2-0? And then they come back and crush that, man. And then Argentina will, this is right here. Argentina will take the cup this year. I don't know, man. France, and I don't rule the Vikings out, man. Norway, do not. There's something when they get on a run, man. Do not root them out. And I also think I still think France is a solid team, man. I don't know, Mbappe. I mean, I think that I could be wrong. And look, Argentina took it last time. I'm a big Messi fan. I love Messi. I'm super happy that he's got 23 goals. I don't, Mbappe's like right behind that. And Mbappe's younger too. But I mean, you got a guy who's basically 38 years old. You had Cristiano Ronaldo, 41 years old. It'll be his last one. I don't see Messi playing. I mean, Messi plays for Miami in the States here. And I don't see him. You saw how much he walked out there, right? He's walking everywhere, walking. But when it counted, he put the goals in. But, he's 38 years old. That's old. I mean, even Ronaldo's a freak of nature. I mean, geez, it's hard to even understand.
You get to a certain point in any sports like that, and they're already at the tail end. You just got to go out. And this is it's like a last hurrah here for the
exactly. There's and Messi did not have a great cup. I was really surprised when he was coming this time because he did not have a great World Cup the last time. But I have to tell you, man, the guy's been epic. But you want to see a preview, Jeff, of England versus Norway? There's a longer version of this. It's awesome. I want to play. There's the full version, widescreen, and everything. But I played the shorter version. Whoever did that is a genius. I mean, if anything AI was invented for is right there. That's what it's for. But that was just brilliant. The Vikings, versus the Saxons. I mean, how great is that? So it's gonna be an epic game. I was so bummed today, Jeff. I go, I don't know what to do with myself. There wasn't any matches on today. I was like, what do I do? And it's gonna get fewer and fewer. It's great watching it all day, man. Having it on the background.
Osman sees France versus England, and France winning the cup. There you go.
Yeah, and again, England's playing well, man. They're playing together. Kane is another dude that's just they're playing as a team, and I think that's important. And we got to see more of the rowing, man. We got to see more of that stuff. So it's great. But who would have thought? Brazil out, Netherlands out, Germany out. Germany was a shocker for me. It's incredible.
Big
upset. My greatest period, if I can ever tell you one game out of all the World Cups I've ever seen, was it 2014? Was in Brazil. And Germany beats Brazil in Brazil 7-1. That was the most epic game I've ever seen. Germany, it was so destructive. But the Brazil's not the Brazil of old years. They're not. They were disjointed. That last game that I watched of theirs, it's just weird. It was sad to see Brazil. They used to be they used to own. They always get to the quarters, right? They always make it down to the semis. And going out that early, it was crazy. And it was nice to see more teams in it this year. Usually had 32, but had 48. I like that they expanded it because I've made for some really great matches. Yeah, Swiss versus Colombia was also good. Yeah, I mean they've really been great ones, except for the U.S. The last U.S. game, just an absolute. But I don't think Belgium's going on. I think this is the end of the road for Belgium. I don't think they're going to win. So
are they going to play next?
Belgium plays. They play. Who do they play? Who does Belgium play next? Belgium.
Senegal?
No. Senegal's out. Plays who next? Is it France? Who are they? Spain. Yeah, playing Spain next. They're not going to beat Spain. They're not going to beat Spain.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah, Friday, July 10th, 3 p.m.
Yeah, there you go. That's going to be another one. There's a good match on tomorrow. They're all going to be epic from this point on. Hopefully fun. Hopefully a lot of goals scored. But yeah, you got a Spain. Yeah, there it is, right there, Osmond. So it's going to be great. It's finally great to turn on. Like I have Sirius, and I turn on. There's like 15 sport radio shows, here, and they're all talking soccer. You don't like soccer? We'll blame it on the UK. You guys coined the phrase. We started using it. Then you started calling it football. But it is kind of dumb. We call American football when you only kick the ball less than 0.5% during a game. So it's kind of a dumb thing there. But
Visual Vendetta remembers Maradona. There you go.
Oh yeah, the great Maradona. Yeah. Well, and Ronaldo that played for Brazil was another great too, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and of course, go back far enough to talk about Pele in Brazil as well. It was just times have changed quite a bit, but yeah, it's a lot of it's going to be an epic time, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Be great. Great.
I don't know if the translation's here or not.
Nichts dazu sagen, aber diese Gespräche werden geführt.
That's perfect.
Can't
read it.
Also taking place
wissen seit Trump 1, dass sehr
first
häufig
term that he very often
Auftritt
would
Druck aufbaut.
build up pressure with a massive appearance. I want to say it again,
Seite
start
aus
the point of
sagen,
view,
die
that the
letzten
last
amerikanischen Präsidenten, die
American
uns freundlich
president who
gebeten
kindly
haben,
asked us to
macht doch
finally
jetzt endlich mal ein bisschen mehr für eure
pay a little
eigene
bit more for NATO and our own
sind
defense.
überall in Europa
Fell on deaf
auf
ears everywhere in
gestoßen.
Europe.
Und jetzt kommen zwei
And
Ereignisse
now,
zusammen. Das
two
ist der
events
Krieg
are
in der
occurring
Ukraine
simultaneously: the war in
und
Ukraine,
dieser amerikanische Präsident,
American
der mal
president who sometimes
unfreundlich
says
sagt,
extremely,
das reicht.
that enough is
So,
enough.
und ich kann ihm das nicht verübeln.
And I can't
Wenn Sie
blame
alleine
him
mal die
for saying
Zahlen
that.
sehen,
You just gotta
die die
look at the
Amerikaner für die NATO ausgeben
the
und die wir für die
Americans
NATO
spend on NATO
ausgeben.
and what everybody
Ein
else spends
Verhältnis
on
von
NATO.
80 zu
Ratio of
20.
80 to 100.
80 Amerika, 20
80%
Europa,
America,
der Rest der
20%
NATO.
Europe.
Ist
The rest of NATO
inakzeptabel.
is
Es war
unacceptable.
immer
It was
inakzeptabel.
always
Und jetzt sagt uns
unacceptable,
ein
and now
amerikanischer
somewhat less friendly way. No, this is Merz coming out and talking about something nice about Trump. Geez, what's going on over there in Germany? But he's right. It's like sometimes you got to say what's true. Like, why?
Right.
If America is the one paying and doing it all, why are the ones all why are they paying for it too? Spain contributes like nothing. So guess what? Spain's out. Defend yourselves, losers. They just, I guess there was an emergency reading in, was it Brussels or maybe it was in France and in Paris. And one of the things that they said, we see you. It's like not be seen. It's like it's like when someone doesn't want to be in a picture and they dip down and they're more obvious than if they just in the background.
Missed it.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it happens sometimes. But what did you think about that, Jeff? That he was saying, "Hey, Trump is kind of right. Everybody else would say to pay more, but everyone's like, who cares?" Now you got a guy that's like, "Hey, good luck." Whoa! Wait a minute, what? So
You totally missed XRP.
Like, let's see.
Sauce missed the XRP talk. Let's talk about XRP. XRP. There you go.
There it is. We just talked about it. You got to get here early to talk about the XRP stuff, man. Yeah, John Deaton. You know what's weird is I don't understand why John Deaton doesn't get more support up there. I really do not understand it, but I do follow him closely, and it's just like he just don't understand why he's not getting some more support. You're about a guy like Platner or someone, a Republican, is running against here. But look at this right here. It said local police unions say first responders could have helped the mortally wounded victim of Saturday's early morning shooting in Cambridge sooner, but the city had gotten rid of its gunshot detection surveillance system. And John Deaton said, well, sometimes I think I'm living in a bizarro world, but I realize that I live in Massachusetts. I'm running for U.S. Senate to try and restore balance and common sense. We've lost our way. We intentionally protect criminals and ignore the rights of victims. Spot on, Jeff.
Yeah, it's just so wrong. The stuff that's going on across the board in some of those northeastern cities, they got to get their shit together. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening. Go ahead and take this story, Jeff. This is not going to come as any surprise.
The European Parliament will vote on chat control tomorrow morning. What is that? What is chat control? Chat control will make it possible to scan all. Man, this is why you don't go to Europe. Chat control will make it possible to scan all private chats, emails, and messages for forbidden content even before they're sent. Wait a minute. Before they're sent.
Yeah, it could be sitting in your inbox.
It's your
like you know how you like put a copy of draft in and you decide not to send it in Gmail. You save it as a draft. Oh yeah, I'll read that.
EU leaders say it's needed to stop child abuse material but critics argue it's just another step towards, yeah, that's what it's for. It's so insane. Why not just focus on the problems that are at hand, all the invaders that they've allowed in? How about get rid of them first, and then you want to, penalize the rest of your citizens? Hey, great, but get rid of the illegals. Get rid of all the migrants that you brought in. How about demigrate your countries? It's so crazy. After failing to pass the law multiple times previously, tomorrow's vote has been rigged through a procedural maneuver to favor approval. After MPs rejected the measure in March with 311 votes against, the latest group suddenly pushed an urgent procedure this week to force a new plenary vote on Thursday, the final session before summer recess. Of course, they want to screw it in. This revives the proposal as a second reading, meaning rejection now demands an absolute majority of 361 votes rather than a simple majority against. Proponents thus need only prevent strong opposition, inverting the usual dynamic. Timing ensures many MEPs will be absent or traveling home for the summer vacation, with non-votes effectively counting towards passage. By making the high threshold harder to reach, opponents denounce this as unprecedented and well, you know what? This is perfect Democrat bypassing, because it's how they work in a pure democracy. They screw you over if you're not in their majority. The critics claim the sudden vote ignores widespread concerns over the mass surveillance without warrants, false positives, flooding police with innocent content, encryption risk, and treating all citizens as suspects. This is perfect for the EU. Perfect.
It's par for the course, Jeff. I mean, this is absolutely
par for the
insane.
course. That's Europe for you right there. In a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell,
Europe
baby. It's
going down the tube.
That's exactly what it is. And you got to really wonder to yourself, like, what's going on, man? I don't know. We live in a crazy world. Yeah, it's bad. EU is really trying hard to make 1984 reality. Yeah,
especially after they lied about our country. All the shit that they propagated throughout Europe on how bad the US is. And it's really just a reflection of their own shithole.
Yeah, and you had Europeans crying. They don't want to leave, Jeff. They're like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. They're having such a great time and so much fun. It didn't matter the city. If it was a blue city, red place, it was just universal. And you know who really was pissed about that? The Democrats, because they were hoping it would be a colossal failure, and they would say how horrible it was here. Then they were blown away by the stadiums. I mean, with simple air conditioning, Jeff, I mean, it just seems like something so basic. You and I grew up with air conditioning. I've always had air conditioning in my house. Like, I just don't understand. Like, 120,000 people will die in Europe this summer, mostly the elderly. You want to know why? Because they don't have air conditioning. Like, it's just it's hard to understand. Like, I don't really know where to put that. It's like, how do you not have simple basic things? I mean, and they won't let you have it because they're climate change nuts. They're like, oh, you can't have it. It's we gotta. We there's no way we can do it. We have to have I mean, it's crazy. And funny enough, I was somebody was talking about, this is the funniest thing. And I was like, they had an awning. They're showing an awning. They're like, awnings are very important. In the UK, you should put awnings on your Victorian homes. They used to be there, and you should have an awning because it cuts down. I'm like, you know what they just came out with? New technology years ago. You might not have heard of it. It's called window film. And it cuts 60 to 80% of the sun's rays. It's called window film. You guys probably haven't heard that invention yet either.
Modern awnings.
You don't know what a dryer is. You don't know what a clothes dryer is. You just hang it up and wherever in your house, you put it on the radiator. Jeff, when was the last time you saw a radiator in the States? I mean, really, when was the last time you went somewhere and saw a radiator?
In New York City?
Maybe. I mean, I think that might have been the last time I saw it. You stay in a really old hotel from 67 years ago.
It's been a long time. Been a really long time. My parents' house in upstate New York, they used to have radiators.
We did our very first house. We did. It was an old house built in the 20s.
It's built in the 20s. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you expect that, and it's like, remember you're a kid, you touch, they go, whoa, it's like, don't touch that thing. That sucker's hot, So, but yeah, it's crazy to me, man. We're living in a time that's just so weird and epic. Who knows?
Epic.
I don't know. It's epic.
Time. It's epic
time. But anyway, that's all the time we guys have here. We're going to be back on Saturday morning, I think.
Saturday.
Are you back Saturday, Jeff? Yeah, I'll be back Saturday. Are you on?
8 a.m. Yep. leaving on a jet plane that evening.
Leaving on a jet plane.
I don't know when I'll be back again.
Oh, you do. Next summer. like every year. Yes, you do. Same every summer. The length of time is the only thing you don't know. It's
way too hot here. Too hot here. It was 90 today.
It's not hot
90.
in Florida.
Hot. 90 is hot. It's supposed to be like 60, not 90.
Well, it was better than that 101 like we had last week. That was insanely hot.
Oh.
So, all right. Well, that's it, guys. We will see you on Saturday. And that's all I have. Anything else before we get out of here, Jeff?
That's all we got, except for Saturday.
So for Saturday, one day only, Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay, guys. See you on the next one. Chip and Jeff.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.